48 teams entered the biggest World Cup ever played. 4 are left: Argentina, Spain, France, and England. The exact 4 names sitting at the top of FIFA's world ranking. FIFA has published that ranking since December 1992. 8 World Cups came and went, and not once did its top 4 all survive to the semifinals. This is the 9th. It just happened. That looks like a perfect prediction, a formula in Zurich that read the future of the most unpredictable tournament on Earth. But the ranking did more than predict this World Cup. It helped build it. And the building started months before a single ball was kicked. It's December 5th, 2025. The Kennedy Center in Washington. Tuxedos on stage, cameras on cranes, and a row of glass bowls filled with numbered balls. It's the World Cup draw, the night the tournament takes its shape. Everyone watches which teams land in which group. Whose path looks easy? Who gets the group of death? Almost nobody asks a quieter question. Who arranged the bowls? The ranking arranged the bowls. All 48 teams were sorted into 4 pots by their FIFA ranking. The 3 hosts sat in pot 1, joined by the 9 highest-ranked teams in the world. Everyone else was stacked below them, pot by pot, like weight classes. None of that was new. Seeding has been protecting favorites for decades. But this time, FIFA added something new, something that reached far beyond the groups. In the name of competitive balance, the 4 highest-ranked teams were planted into the knockout bracket itself. Spain, ranked first at the time, and Argentina, ranked second, were placed on opposite sides of the tree. France, third, and England, fourth, were split the same way, which means that as long as the top 4 kept winning, they could not meet one another until the semifinals. Not by luck, by design. The bracket was never a neutral arena waiting to be filled. It was landscaped, and the ranking held the shovel. The idea comes from tennis, where top seeds are kept apart on purpose so the biggest names collide as late as possible. And in football, it answered a real problem. Mathematicians who study tournament fairness, Julien Guillon among them, had spent years showing how World Cup draws kept producing lopsided brackets, one half a gauntlet, the other half a corridor. So FIFA re-engineered the draw, and the top 4 thanked it by arriving exactly where the design pointed. If that were the whole story, you could call it sensible engineering. Fair, even. But here's the part nobody talks about. The draw was neither the beginning nor the end of the rankings work. The same number was operating before the teams ever qualified, and it stayed on duty deep into the tournament. It started with the playoffs. The last seats at this World Cup were decided in brackets seeded by the FIFA ranking of November 19, 2025. In the Intercontinental Playoff, the 2 highest-ranked teams skipped their semifinals entirely and dropped straight into the finals. 1 win from the World Cup. The lower-ranked teams needed 2. The European playoff routes were built from ranking pots too. The list decided who got the short road and who got the long one, and it kept working after the draw. Buried in the tournament regulations sits a quiet clause. If 2 teams finish a group completely level, same points, same head-to-head record, same goals, same disciplinary score, the tie is broken by the FIFA ranking before anyone reaches for a drawing of lots, choosing the 8 best third-place teams for the round of 32. The 5th criterion is the ranking. A team could, in principle, fly home because of a number computed before the tournament began. Seeding, pathways, playoffs, tiebreakers. The ranking is not a scoreboard hanging on the wall of the World Cup. It is wired into the walls, so it's worth asking what this number actually is. Since August 2018, the ranking has run on a system FIFA calls sum, a cousin of the ELO rating that chess players live and die by. Every match moves points from the loser to the winner. Beating a giant pays well. Beating a minnow pays almost nothing. Matches are weighted by importance. A friendly barely registers, while a World Cup knockout carries one of the highest weights in the system. And there is a quieter rule still. In the knockout rounds of a major tournament, teams are protected from losing points at all. Fall in a World Cup final, and the formula politely looks away. Each rule sounds reasonable on its own. Together, they close a loop. A high ranking earns you a top pot. A top pot buys a gentler group. A protected pathway hands you weaker opponents deeper into the tournament. Weaker opponents mean more wins. More wins mean more points, which keep the ranking high, which buys the next gentle draw. The measurement feeds the machine. The machine feeds the measurement. Teams noticed. Under the old formula, which averaged results instead of adding them, the ranking could be played like an instrument. In 2016, a team of researchers led by Jan Lasek published a simulation study in the Journal of Applied Statistics showing exactly how a national side could climb the list by scheduling cleverly, choosing whom to play, and more importantly, whom to avoid. Poland ran that playbook in real life. After Euro 2016, they played almost no friendlies. Their average stayed pristine, and they walked into the 2018 draw seated in pot 1 above Spain. A national team improved its World Cup by choosing not to play football. That is not an accident. The 2018 reform closed the easiest tricks. It did not remove the prize. Now, the strongest objection, maybe the list is simply right. Argentina arrived as world champions. Spain arrived as European champions. These four would be dangerous from any pot in any bracket, and a seeded path guarantees nothing. Morocco entered the last World Cup ranked 22nd and fought through a gauntlet of giants to the semifinals. Upsets remain legal. All true. The ranking did not win a single match this summer. It never needed to. It only had to move the odds. A softer group here, a later collision there, one fewer giant standing in the road. Spread that tilt across 48 teams and 100 matches, and the favorites don't need miracles. They need to be slightly better, slightly more often on a road built slightly downhill. In 1948, the sociologist Robert Merton gave this shape a name: the self-fulfilling prophecy, a prediction that changes behavior, or changes the world until the prediction comes true. His examples were rumors and bank runs. Football built a cleaner one: a forecast that seeds the opponents, draws the paths, and breaks the ties, then takes a bow when the forecast holds. This wasn't a prophecy checking its answer. It was a prophecy grading its own exam. And you live inside systems like this. Your credit score claims to measure whether you repay, then sets the interest rate that decides whether you can. A search ranking claims to measure relevance, then hands out the clicks that make one answer relevant forever. The score describes the world, then it quietly rearranges the world. Then it points at the result as proof it was right all along. This week, in Arlington and in Atlanta, the four names at the top of the list will finally be allowed to meet in the exact round the pathways sketched for them 7 months ago. Maybe the best team on earth lifts the trophy. It probably will. The top of the ranking is, after all, where the best teams tend to live. But when the final four match the list exactly, resist calling it a perfect prediction. The list was never watching from the stands. It seeded the pots. It split the bracket. It held the tiebreaker in its pocket. 48 teams entered the World Cup. 4 names walked out of a spreadsheet.